What's up, everybody? This is Jimmy with Trade Decoded. It is 3:16 in the afternoon on May 22nd, 2025. Market is still open, but man, it was a good day today. Not just for me, but for the community. I think right now we have 17 red traders on the day and almost 100 green. And the best part was most of us were done by 10 o'clock this morning. We found some epic trades to take right out of the gate. And we're going to talk about those here in just a second. But before we do, like, share, and subscribe, please. I would be grateful. Trying to get 100,000 subscribers, and I got a long way to go. Please, guys, help me out, okay? Also, consider buying my book. I make a whopping $3 on it, so I'm not shilling something for the sake of getting rich off of you. But there is a lot of really good information in that book that can definitely help you become a better trader. So check that out. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the charts and let's talk about what we found and what we did. With that said, as always, we do a call put scenario. The call scenario was if we could get above 514.13, we'd be looking for the next resistance up, which we were hoping for 514.80. It was a pretty good move, 65 cents or so. I did not take that. And the reason I did not take that is because I was ready for puts at the open and it broke through resistance a little bit too quickly. And quite frankly, I wasn't thrilled with what ADD was doing at the time. It was hovering around, trying to figure out if it wanted to go up, wanted to go down, and I just wasn't ready for the calls. Now, with that said, our put line is at 513.64. It happened very quickly, and I didn't take it. Now, this is one of those cases where I always have an answer for why I do what I do and say what I say. And it's based off of, well, things that everybody has available to them, right? Try not to be intuition or my gut feeling or whatever. But somebody had asked why I did not jump into puts when we breached the line. And quite honestly, I didn't have an answer. So this is one of those things where, and I said it, I announced it to everybody. I said, guys, I'm not in these puts and I'm not taking them. Something doesn't feel right. I think I saw NVIDIA, because I keep NVIDIA on another chart off to the side, and it was a big green candle at open. On top of that, the ADD candle was switching between red and green. We were on support on both charts at the time, which was just recently made in pre-market, and I just didn't take it. But I was still prepared for puts. So when the call scenario played out, I was not in it. I did not get to take that trade. It did get exactly where we wanted it to go. So some people did play calls this morning and they made money. I was not one of those people. However, once this candle rejected as hard as it did off of that resistance there, I took a look at ADD and I said to everybody out loud, at least 40 seconds before I got into my trade, I said, guys, I'm telling you right now, with a rejection like we just had on both charts, and if ADD is still printing red when we close on 932, I'm going to take puts. And I'm going to hope that it makes it down to this support right here. Okay, 512.51. Beautiful move to the downside. We got it. It paid well. I think TradeZilla said I made 29.02% on that. I got in this trade pretty aggressively only because ADD was printing a big red candle. It was printing a red candle during this one. It was still printing red on this one with some momentum behind it. I jumped into it with a market order. I got down here. I was hoping for more, admittedly. Once we got to that line, Qs were coming nearer support. SPY was rustling around with the pink line, although it did get through it. Told everybody, hey, down here, both charts are technically on support right now. I'm going to hope for a little bit more because ADD is still printing red, but I'm tightening up my stop in case we can't break through this double support area. That's it. So we all tightened up our stops and most of us got stopped out on that trade right there, which was good. But beautiful, beautiful move to the downside. Called it out almost a minute in advance, 40 seconds, 30 seconds, whatever it was. But the point was, I was still ready for the original puts that I was hoping to take at open. So I was ready to go. I just needed to see confluence across the market. And that's exactly what I saw. And it paid me. Okay, so then we start chopping quite a bit, and it wasn't the greatest of charts. But while we were messing around down here, I started to lose confidence in this zone. Okay, and I said to everybody, once again, this was a solid almost 20 minutes before it became a trade. Now, today was a perfect example of how I am planning and thinking about what I would need to see in order to take a risk. A risk being a trade. Any trade you take is considered a risk. It is no matter how you cut it, no matter how good the setup is, there's always the risk that it's going to not work or it's going to work. That's a risk, right? I define what I want to see for me to be willing to take said risk. Now, we were talking about this, like I said, when we were all the way back here and I was not in calls. I said, guys, at this point, I want to see Qs above 514.78. This resistance right here. I want to see ADD printing green in SPY. I would like to see close to or at least breaking resistances, preferably above 583.63. But as you guys know, at this point, I trust the Qs chart more than I trust SPY. So if Qs gives me a reason to get in first, I will take it because I also believe that the Qs moves SPY, not the other way around. With that said, I did nothing. I was looking for nothing except for the criteria that I just said to you. If we get above this resistance and ADD's printing green, I'm expecting it to run up to right here. We had an alert there at 515.46. That all took place. We were breaching that resistance right here off of higher lows. ADD was printing nice green candles. Let's go. Where are we looking for? Well, we got 2 in through our original profit target. And I said, guys, we're hoping now to make it up to the next orange line. If ADD starts to print some red, I would get out myself. However, if you want to hold on because you've got a little bit more willingness to hold longer than I'm willing to, well, then that's fine. What you need to do is stay above that old resistance. It needs to stay support. Okay, that's it. That's all you have to do. Just know where you're going to get out. I know if I'm struggling to make it higher on the Qs and then I see ADD start to print red, I'm going to get out. I got no issues with that. That trade would have paid me very, very well. So I don't need to hold longer hoping for more. I don't like giving up profits hoping for better profits. If I get into a trade that works, I've already made my goal for the day under normal circumstances. So I'm not looking to be uber aggressive trying to exceed my daily goal. Okay. With that said, for those of you who stayed in the trade because we never closed back below that support, congratulations. When I say I'm going to get out, I'm telling people that because they want to know what I'm doing and I explain why. Okay. Now, at the same time, I also say, don't let me scare you out. All I want you to make sure of is that you know where the line is for you. If we break structure and we close back below support, you have to assume we're going to move down to the next support. If you don't want to hold a winning trade through a pullback like that, I don't blame you. I wouldn't want to either. Just know where your line in the sand is. That's all. So in that case, we did have people hold on to that trade and held on they did, and they got rewarded for it. 10 o'clock is coming around. We don't like to hold through 10 o'clock, so I suggest to everybody always, every day, if you're in a winning trade especially, go ahead and take yourself out. So at 9:59, there's an exit here. You would have made more money if you stayed in. Played the higher low and continued up. As we were moving up, we start to stall here a little bit. We break the upward trend. I said to everybody, again, while this candle was printing, I said, guys, watch out for this potentially becoming a lower high. Okay, Qs and SPY are nearing resistance. We just had a big red candle on SPY and Qs. It didn't fall through the support here. It held up, but it didn't make it back up to the resistance that it just came from. That starts the possibility of a lower high. And then I said, if ADD is printing red here, this would be a good aggressive setup for a potential put entry, guys. Now, I'm done for the day. People know this. So if you're waiting for me to take trades after I already said I'm done, you're going to be waiting for the rest of the day. I'm okay with one and done. I prefer it. However, not everybody takes the trades that we find leading up to this point. So I do try and find reasons to have other trade ideas, right? It's very simple. Lower highs with ADD printing red, I'm going to aggressively take that under a normal circumstance. Okay? Because what that tells me is sellers are getting a little bit stronger. Support is being under more pressure, which means we're more likely to break that support. And we knew where our next support was. It was all the way down here at this point. That's plenty of room to make some good money. Okay, let's see. Criteria being met. Lower high, we don't know if it's going to be yet. But then this candle starts printing. Also, what happens? ADD starts printing. So if you got in aggressively because of that, you didn't wait for a break of support. If you waited for a break of support, you still had plenty of room to make money. So it doesn't really matter whether you got in aggressive or conservatively. Nonetheless, we're looking for the move to continue down to the next support. Beautiful, beautiful trade right there. And ADD was with us the whole way down. It fell a little bit more. Then we got into a little bit of sideways chop, which was looking like a channel here for a second for the Qs, right? Support, resistance, support, resistance, support. We didn't make it to resistance. What does that make this? This makes this a lower high again. Lower highs means we're more likely to break support. I said it out loud again. The same time, guys, if you know what you're looking for, you can be prepared and you can take advantage of these call outs. But if you're sitting there not knowing what you're looking for, the call outs are worthless. Okay? They're worthless because you won't have enough time. These charts move minute by minute. I don't know when the lower high is going to start. I don't know if it's going to end up being a lower high, and neither do you. The point is, though, if you are prepared with an order ready to go, you're just waiting for the proper setup for entry. When you see the setup, you take it based off of your trade plan. Okay, so as this thing produces a lower high, I said, guys, if ADD starts printing red, would be looking to break through this support and head down to the next support. Now you can see we didn't make it to my support line, which the alert is still there, but we got within 6 cents of it. Okay, so as we move down, I didn't mark it on the SPY chart. That would have been here to here on SPY. Okay, so right down through the pink line. Either way, beautiful move to the downside. We picked back up, kind of got back into the channel a little bit. And while we were adjusting around down here, I said, listen, calls would be off the table for me until the Qs get above 516.36. If the Qs can get above 516.36, I'd be looking for that move to head up to 517, just shy of the orange line, 517.46. So about a 90-cent move. We talked about this an hour, I think it was, before it actually happened. So the resistance I'm referring to is right here. Okay, I'm going to put a line there just so you guys could see it as we scroll over on the chart, so you could see what I was looking for and what I wanted to see in order to take that trade. Okay, so right now, we'll make it a different color so you can see it clearly. It's this white dashed line. We touched it there. Yes. ADD was printing green. We didn't get through it. We touched it here, putting in higher lows. That matters along the entire way. Okay. And then after several higher lows in a row, producing an uptrend, ADD still printing green. I said, and I stayed on the mic because we were getting close to that point. I said, guys, remember what I said a long time ago. Let's see if that trade works out. Once again, if you were just waiting, it took an hour to happen. An hour for the criteria of all things that I wanted to see to be true. Number one, we're getting through that resistance right here. Number two, ADD's printing green. Number three, we've got plenty of room to the upside. We're coming off higher lows. Let's go. That right there, I had one guy who told me while he was in it, he got in at exactly this time and he got out somewhere up here. He got a 70% return on that trade. Now, if you waited for a candle close above that resistance, that's fine. You still made 60+% return on the same trade. Beautiful, beautiful trade. Okay. With that said, that's all I got because I don't hang around in front of the charts after 12 o'clock, usually because, well, I don't like trading after 12 o'clock. My win rate takes a big, gigantic hit at that point. The chart does still move. You can still trade if you'd like. Just know that the goalposts change, right? The game changes as the day gets later. Volume usually drops until 3 o'clock or 3:30. Volatility typically drops. Theta increases. There's a lot of reasons that trading the way we trade in the morning works better than it does in the afternoon. So if you're going to trade in the afternoon, more power to you. Just realize that the game is not the same later in the day as it is in the morning. At the same time, consider using next day expirations if you're going to. All right? I'm not arguing with you. It's your money. You do you. I do me. And I know what works for me, and that's what I do. Okay? With that said, I hope you found some useful information in this video. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. If you'd like to join our Discord community, well, god damn it, I'd love to have you. Please join us. It's absolutely free for the first week. Cost you nothing. Free 99. Okay? Jump in there, and if it's for you, awesome. Consider becoming a member. If it's not, thanks for stopping by. I certainly hope you learned something that helps you along your trading journey. Also, if you can't be in there and you still want to learn what we do, the book is right here. You can find it on Amazon. There are links for everything down below. Feel free to pick that up. I'd appreciate it, and your account might as well. With that said, I hope you all had a great day in the markets. And till tomorrow, I love you guys.